Welcome back to my channel. Deanna King here, and what I would like to address today is the infamous question that seems to be on everybody's mind regarding whether narcissists know what they are doing when they are behaving badly. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if any of this resonates with you, because I really want this channel to be about not only awareness, but I'm here to acknowledge what you're going through. And you are definitely not crazy, nor are you alone in this. We are many. Now, there seems to be a divide as to whether they know or not. And I think that the reason why there's such a controversy regarding this topic is because these narcissists, they are so clever in their ability to manipulate that it makes it so confusing to decipher. Their behavior switches from sweet as pie to monstrous behaviors, and so we often figure that it's all due to their past upbringings and traumas and the codependence that we find ourselves being understanding and compassionate. But I do want you to think about something for a moment though. You also have been through your own share of ordeals and traumas. So are you going around making waves like they are and causing pain to those who love you? Anyway, I'm going to have my say in this video and give my opinion, since we can't really read the minds of each individual narcissist. Plus, there are different degrees or levels of narcissism here. So you can hear me out, but the bottom line is trust your own opinion. Trust what you see. So have you ever noticed that when it comes to the narcissist, these characters seem to be selective as to when to treat you badly and when to be nice or polite to you? Have you ever noticed that when you are in the presence of others, they are really nice to you? I remember at the end of my relationship with the narcissist in my life, I had had enough, and he knew it all too well. I no longer bought into his games, and I went about my life as I looked for a way out. And of course, he didn't know, I didn't let him know that I was planning my escape, but he did know. When it comes to narcissists, they are on high alert when it comes to their intuition. They feel when something comes up. And when you aren't the same with them anymore and doing everything to please them, they feel that loss and they are not having it. And so they up the ante. Anyway, back to what I was saying here. He had been treating me unkind for days, and this time his unkindness was over the top. Like I said, he was upping the ante. He refused to respond to even the smallest of questions like, did we get any mail today? If I walked past him in the hallway, it was met with dirty looks, and he wore contempt on his face like it was a permanent thing. Turns out it was. I think he had been carrying around like that for about, 5 days or something before his friend showed up to visit. They sat in the kitchen over coffee talking, and after some time I walked into the kitchen for something, and he looks at me and he says, "Oh, hun, I made a pot of coffee. Can I get you a cup?" Like what? What? I was so insulted and disgusted by the obvious hypocrisy that I blurted out something like, "Are you effing kidding me? You've been treating me like your worst possible enemy for days. You refuse to respond to anything that I say, and now your friend comes over and you're suddenly talking to me like I'm a human being?" And of course, well, he said nothing, right? And I imagine that he probably rolled his eyes while facing his friend with a finger pointing towards his ears, twirling, insinuating that I needed to be locked up or something. So, do they know what they're doing? I think that speaks for itself. Or what about the times that you've been out to dinner parties with them and how sweet they were with you? And how attentive they were, perhaps stroking your hair as you spoke to your friends and laughed at your jokes. You probably thought that this dinner party was just what the doctor ordered because it suddenly got the two of you closer, right? Now the evening's over, you get into the vehicle, and there's that stone cold, hard, resentful face that you're accustomed to. You get home, not a word is said as they return to their caves, and the remainder of the night is spent with you being alone again and ignored again, like this dinner never took place. Today, seeing someone treat me like that even once, and that's all I need to know. Do narcissists know what they're doing? What about the times that they treated you so horribly that you decided that you were going to do something about it? They did something that was so painful that this time you drew the line in the sand. Suddenly, they're apologizing, and so heartfelt at that. You're getting the violin with promises that this unacceptable thing will never happen again, and love bombing and regrets of their behavior. Well, if they don't know what they're doing, why are they apologizing? And what about the times that they verbally assaulted you, yelled at you, broken your things, and they've taken it too far? And perhaps they don't apologize, but all of a sudden, the tasks that you've been pestering them about for months are finally getting done. Why? Sounds like guilt to me. I remember a client that I was working with once. His wife had left and taken the kids. The characteristics of this man pointed pretty strongly towards narcissism. So he sought out my help because he wanted to make his marriage work. So I asked him one day what, in his opinion, was his part in the breakdown of the marriage. And do you know what his response was? I was a jerk. Do they know what they're doing? Normal people make mistakes. We're human, and mistakes are how we learn. And when we do, we actively do something about it. Either we make amends or we seek help for our behaviors. We do something to ensure that we don't repeat the same mistakes. The narcissist does not. Time and time again, they will hurt you and repeat it, not once, not twice, but over and over again for months, years, or however long that it takes before you call it quits. They know what they're doing. They don't care that it hurts you. And I know that the thought of that leaves you feeling disheartened, that someone would know exactly what they were doing and not care. But here's the thing. Narcissists find a way to not care by protecting themselves in the justification of that whatever they did, there was a reason. It makes them feel better. They cannot apologize or admit their cruelty because they simply cannot face the fact that they are these monsters. They not only want to be seen as bigger, better, and smarter, but they need to be seen that way. It's how they control their world. It's how they survive. It isn't you. None of this is about you when we talk about how they're treating you. It all has to do with the level of immaturity that they have, and that level isn't very high. These people, they don't respond towards perceived threats. They react. There's no space for processing. For some, there is so much anger inside of them and so much belief that the world is against them that everything is a trigger for them. For others, if they learned growing up that they were special, that feeling for them and that belief is such a high that they're going to do whatever it takes to protect that stance. I mean, what if all of a sudden that specialness was taken away? Who would they be? But regardless of the upbringing, they are in reaction mode. And if they get angry, you are at the tail end of their regurgitation. Their immaturity comes with selfishness and complete self-absorption, like children. Children are self-absorbed because they're still in the growing process. The narcissist, however big they've grown in adult bodies, the maturity level, it remains as that of that 5-year-old spoiled child. Their world revolves around them and them only, what they want and what they can get. There is no inclination in putting you in the front seat unless that result is in them getting what they want through this. And I'm not making excuses for them here, and I am not trying to get you to bow down to their every whim now that you understand. I am just putting the cards on the table so that you can come to a radical acceptance of what is, and so that you can come to a decision as to what you want to do with this. But remember this though, they know right from wrong. They decided to remain the way they are. They decided that they don't need to change because it works for them. They decided not to get help, and all of that is their prerogative. We all have free will, but that means that you do too. And the bottom line is that the only one that matters to them is them. Are they mean? Absolutely. Do they know they're being cruel while they're being cruel? Absolutely. And we are seeing the evidence of that more and more these days as we see more clinically diagnosed narcissists and sociopaths today doing YouTube videos and TikToks on that very subject. And they are all admitting to knowing what they are doing. They're also admitting, knowing full well that they manipulate to get what they want. They know when they're love bombing, and they know what words to use when they need for you to reopen the door. It's always all about them. The question is though, what do you want to do in this? Because there's no changing them. That doesn't benefit them. So ask yourself, is this how you see yourself spending the rest of your life? Do you want a spoiled, immature, disrespectful brat that will never change as a partner? Or do you want a kind, generous, responsible partner walking by your side? Like I said, they may get to choose how they want to live, but you do too. So this is all I have to say today on the matter. But in all of this, do not forget that you deserve good in your life. You deserve respect. You deserve to be seen. And you deserve to be loved. So bye for now, and we will see you in the next topic.